Okay, so today we're going on to a couple new angle relationships in our circles. One we've already done, when the vertex lies on the circle, so that means it's an inscribed angle usually. Just like we've done before, the angle is half the arc. Okay. Then we have two new ones. So if the vertex is inside the circle, but not the center, the angle measure is half the sum of the arcs. So we add 84 plus 60, divide by 2 to get 72. If the vertex is outside the circle, then it is half the difference. So we take the larger arc, 76, minus 30, divide by 2 to get 23. So if we're doing our own math here, this vertex is on the circle, and so it's just 1/2. And so we just do 120 divided by 2 to get 60. Okay. Vertex is in the circle, so it's 1/2 the sum. And so we do our 32 plus 130 divided by 2 to get 162 divided by 2, which is 81 degrees. And then this time it's outside, so it means we have 1/2 the difference. Okay, so that means I have to do 240 minus this inside arc. And so sometimes they give you both, like in our example up here, but sometimes we have to find it. So to find the inside arc, we're going to do 360 minus the 240 that we have, because together they have to add up to 360. So 360 minus 240 equals 120. So that means this is 120, and then we divide by 2. So 240 minus 120 divided by 2 comes out to 60 degrees. Alright, and this is just to show you, if we're outside the circle, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with tangents or secants going through. As long as the vertex is outside the circle, it's the exact same math that we do. Alright, so on this page, we're just finding some arcs. So, angle ABC. I look at the information that they give me, which is that this side is 70. And so this is a linear pair with the 70 that's already there. So I just do 180 minus 70 to get 110. So now I know this is 110 degrees. Next, it asks me to find an arc, AB. So arc AB goes along the outside here. Again, I start from the 70, and it's on the circle. And so I just take my angle times 2 to get an arc of 140. And then last of all, it asks me to find arc ABE. So I can either do 110 times 2 to get 220. Or, since I have the 140, I can do 360 minus 140, just working with the outside degrees, which gives me that same 220 degrees. So you pick which way. Most of these problems have more than one way that you can solve them, as long as you know your rules. Alright, so solve for x. We are in the circle. So that means 1/2 sum. So I take my 97 and 35, divide by 2, equals 5x plus 14. So 97 plus 32 divided by 2 gives me 64.5. No, it does not. I typed that in wrong. 97 plus 35 divided by 2 gives me 66. So I have 66 equals 5x plus 14. And then I solve. Subtract 14. 52 equals 5x. Divide by 5. Which is going to give me 10.4. Alright, on the next one, it is outside, which means 1/2 the difference. So I do 4x plus 8 minus 3x plus 2 divided by 2 equals 28. Okay, so a very important thing to remember here is we must distribute the negative. Okay, so we apply it to the 3x and the 2. So we're going to distribute technically we're multiplying times -1. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want to deal with a fraction, and so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And so that means I have 4x plus 8 minus 3x minus 2, when I've distributed that negative, equals 28 times 2, which is 56. And then I solve. So I combine my like terms to get x plus 6 equals 56. Subtract 6 to get x equals 50. Alright, now we have a few little bit more challenging ones. Some of these are simple, some have a lot of steps to them. And so these are kind of like our puzzle problems. We look at what they've given us, which they've given us a 128, they gave us a 68, and we look at what they ask for. And so angle ABE, that's a simple one. It's just 128 divided by 2, which equals 64. Next, we look at arc BC. So we can't go directly to BC because we don't have this one. And so instead, I'm going to take 68 times 2 to get 136 equals arc EC. And then I'll put my x here that I'm solving for. And so now I have 128 plus the 136 plus my mixing one equals 360. That gives me every part of my whole circle. And so I do my math and get x 264 plus x equals 360. Subtract the 264 and get x equals 96. So 96 degrees would be arc BC. Alright, when we come down to number 3, that's another simple one. It's just 1/2 the sum. And so 59 plus 201 divided by 2 equals 130. And so this is 130 degrees because it did ask me for that central angle. Not central, but the inside angle. Alright, problem 2 here has a lot going on, so let's first look at what they ask for. LKI. So LKI, that's pretty simple. We just have, it goes along with this whole arc. So I just have to do 188 plus 50 to get the whole thing, divide it by 2. And that comes out to 119. Alright, arc IJ is just slightly harder. So IJ, we have this 46. And so 46 times 2 gives us 92. And so 92 is going to give me HJ. And so then I just have to subtract the HI that they gave me, which is 50, to get my answer of 42 degrees. Right, so just follow step by step when you get these more complex problems. Just go step by step, see what you can find. So, angle DEI. Okay, so I look at that. I do not yet have enough information to find DEI, so I'm going to come back to that one. Next is arc EF. And again, I don't quite have enough information to find that one yet. So, when you get a problem like this, start by finding the information you can find. And so I know 56, 58. Alright, so I know 56 times 2 is going to equal this arc. So, 56 times 2 equals 112, which is my HGF arc. So I can now use that to find 112 minus the 75 that I already have equals 37 degrees, which is my HG arc. So this is 37. This whole thing was 112. I can also recognize my triangle. So if I have a triangle with 58 plus 39 plus my missing angle equals 180. And so I add those up to get 97 plus my angle F equals 180 minus the 97. I'm sorry, I wrote that as 58 instead of 56. Okay, 56, which makes this 95. And so minus 95 equals 85. So this is 85 degrees. Okay. Now I have enough information to find what they've asked me to find. So EF, I can now do my arc EF minus the 37 divided by 2 has to equal the 39. And I solve, so I multiply by 2 and get EF minus 37 equals 78. And then I add 37 to find EF equals 105. Sorry, 115. And so angle EF equals 115 degrees. Alright, now I still have to get back around to DEI. And so I can choose two ways. I now have all my measures of the arc except for that. And so I could add them all up, subtract from 360. Or I can take my 85 degrees that I solved for times 2, which would give me 170. So 170 is going to follow out for all of this. And since I'm just looking for this line, DEI, which crosses through H, I'm then going to subtract the 37 to give me 133. And then my 133 is this arc, and I divide it by 2 to get my angle, which equals 66.5. Okay, so those are your challenging problems. There's just a lot going on. You just slowly work your way around, find every single bit you can until you eventually find what it asks you for. Alright, our last problem, another one with lots going on. So WVR is this angle that I'm looking for. So there is nothing immediately that I can find with that. But I can start to recognize this is my vertical angle, so this is 81. This is half of 30, so this would be 15. And so now I have a triangle of 15 plus 81 plus WVR has to equal 180. And so I combine these two, 96, subtract 96 to get WVR equals 84 degrees. So that equals 84 degrees. Now TUW means I'm coming all the way around here. So again, I have some options. I know 81 is in the middle, so I could do 81 degrees equals half the difference. Sorry, half the sum. So 70 plus VW divided by 2. And I could solve it out that way. Which is going to come out to 162 equals 70 plus VW minus 70 gives me VW equals 92. And so then now I just add up my 92 plus 30 plus 70 to get 192 degrees. And another option would have been to do our 84 times 2 to get the outside here is 168, and then outside going all the way to the D is our 168, And then you just do 360 minus the 168, which would give you the same 192. So you choose what makes the most sense to you. There's usually more than one way to find it, but just keep working around until you find your answer.